like I felt this into my third or fourth map already, that there's something wrong with the mapping. And it's like you always do the same thing. It's so repetitive, and it becomes pretty boring very quickly, because before that you experienced the campaign. It was a completely different experience. It was so much fun looking at the underground map, looking for treasures that you might have missed, and killing those bosses to get the permanent effects and all that. It was so fun killing the act bosses and continue on the story and stuff. And then you reach the end game, you start your mapping, and there's immediately dozens of problems thrown in your face. So I just want to address a couple of those. I'm not going into every single problem that I have with the game, but the biggest issues, it's actually only like 4 points or something, so bear with me here. So again, the map system. The maps are too big, the density is way too low, especially because we don't have really any movement skills. You rely on boots that have high movement speed. 25 plus is what you really want. And that's actually right from the start of the game. I mean, I know you probably can't find 25 movement speed boots like in, I don't know, when you are level 4 or 5 or something like that. They might exist, but I don't know. I never found them. I think the highest that I found very, very early on was 15 or something like that. But again, the maps are too big. You don't have any movement speed boots. And you're running around, you're going from one pack to the next, one pack to the next, and the rest of the map is empty. And especially in my case, I'm playing an Invoker Monk. I love charging my staff and beating the shit out of the mobs. So I charge my staff because there is a pack, I kill the pack, and then my buff just runs out because there's no monsters left. Now I have to run around looking for monsters. And I find myself pulling up the map and looking for the rare indicator so I can just go there and finish the map. And I think that needs to be addressed. I think that, first of all, the maps have to be a little smaller. I don't want them to be very small, but like a little small. Maybe reduce the map size like by 15%, and also increase the density. Because again, like you clear a mob group, you take a couple of steps, you clear a mob group, you take a couple of steps, clear a mob group. It feels very boring, generic. There's nothing much to do. And in most cases, there is not even a boss in the map. You have to kill actually 1 or sometimes 2 or sometimes 3 rare packs to finish the map, you know? So that's something that needs to be addressed. In my opinion, I don't know if that would be a very good idea. I have not really thought about it, but there needs to be more bosses, like more frequently bosses in the maps. Maybe not in all maps, okay? Maybe we can talk about that. But how it feels right now, I'm running like for example, today in my stream, I streamed for like 6.5 hours. I think I just only fought like 2 or 3 bosses during that time. The rest were just rare packs here and there to finish the map. Nothing special. And let's not even talk about the towers. Like, you just go into a tower, run quickly through it, find the stairs, go through the doorway, activate the tower, and that's it. Don't even waste your higher tiers on the towers. Just run a tier 1 and finish the tower as quickly as possible. That's how I feel. And I think that's just not good. So the mapping system, the endgame mapping system, needs a lot of work. A lot of work. And that's also brings me to my next point, which is the dodging system. I kind of love and hate the dodge system in the game. It's brilliant that we can dodge whenever we want without any cooldowns. That's something I was actually surprised when I first saw that it's possible. I thought there's going to be some cooldown or something like that. But no, there is no cooldown. You can dodge whenever you want, how often you want. That's great. But how I understood it right from the start, I understood it as a defensive option as a defensive mechanism for myself, for my character, to dodge out of dangerous situations, out of explosions or projectiles, so I can stay alive. I feel right now that the dodge system is actually almost like a guaranteed suicide sometimes. Okay, sometimes, not guaranteed, sometimes. And I think that should not be the case. Most of my deaths with my monk invoker actually happened after a dodge. I dodged, and then some object on the ground, it could be anything, it could be like a table or a chair, blocked my dodge and body blocked me, and after the dodge I died to some whatever, you name it. Like, the list is very long to what you can die in this game, so you can just choose anything. And I think that should not be the case. In many cases, I have even noticed that you cannot even dodge through plans. I mean, come on, these are plans. I can just stomp them, I can just kick them. I cannot dodge roll through plans? What's happening here, right? Many times, the roots on some big trees actually prevented me from dodge rolling. So I was kind of body blocked by some roots, and then I got smashed and died. So I don't know, like, I really think like 80% or something of my death came from the dodge system not being very well implemented. Let us dodge through objects, let us dodge through monsters. And if you don't want us to dodge through monsters, then at least let us dodge through plants and flowers and roots and all that stuff. Like, it's crazy. Sometimes if you really look closely, you will see even a gap between two objects. Object 1, object 2, and there's a little gap. Your character could easily fit through the gap, easily. But you can't go through there. You cannot dodge through the gap. And it's not just a little tiny thing, it's actually enough for your character to go and run through it, to jump through it, and to dodge through it, but you can't. For some reason, you're body blocked. But of course, you don't know that until you die there. So you think you are safe, you're in a room or something, and you think, I have an exit right there behind me. I'm gonna go there if shit's getting real here. And then you start your attacks and you realize, oh shit, I'm getting overwhelmed. Let's dodge the shit out of it. And you can't. And you die. So the dodging system feels more like a punishment than a defensive mechanism. Like, you dodge and you just die to some bullshit. Also, what I noticed during the dodge system, and they should also address that, after you have dodged, there is a small window, like a small fraction of time where you lose control over your character. Like, your character gets slowed after the dodge, and like there's a fraction of time where you cannot really control your character. And that's also contributing to the fact that the dodge system itself is already kind of flawed and causes a lot of deaths. And that contributes to that as well, because like sometimes the mobs are so fast, or they shoot so fast projectiles, that when you dodge, you get slowed after that, and then you get hit nevertheless. And just because you don't have all the control that you need after the dodge, it's almost like a suicide. Like you almost suicide there, you will die there. And I just don't like that. It should be a defensive mechanism that should prevent death, not cause death. So they have to rework the dodge system. They tried to fix it a little bit, and it's definitely gotten better since the release, but it still needs a lot of work. Every time there is something going on the screen, and I think like I could save myself when I dodge out of this. At the same time, I'm really having like anxiety to actually use my dodge. I'm going like, oh, should I really dodge now? Because this actually could kill me right now. So it should be the opposite. You should feel like, oh, there's danger. I have to dodge out of this to stay alive and rethink about my tactics or something like that, and rethink what I'm gonna do now. But you don't have time for that. You dodge and then you go like, oh shit, this could kill me now. So that shouldn't happen. Now, the third point that I have here that I want to talk about is the punishment system when you die. I think it's too harsh for 2024. If this was a game came out in the 90s or something where we still had to draw or own maps, okay, I'm okay with that, you know? But nowadays, I don't like the death punishment. It's just too harsh. And I'm not even talking about during the campaign, which is already very punishing. You die and then you lose the loot on the ground, which you were not able to pick up fast enough, and the loot is just gone. I think just except quest items or something like that, those stay on the ground, but anything else is gone. And the map kind of gets like a soft reset. The mobs reset and the fog of war also resets. During the campaign, that is already frustrating, but it's not that big of a deal during the campaign. You can adjust to that. You can, I personally can live with that. But the death punishment during the mapping endgame system is, in my opinion, way too much. I don't know why they have tuned it that way. I guess they wanted to, tune it as punishing and as hard as possible first, and then gradually lower it and gradually nerf it. That's probably maybe easier from the technical point of view than making it already very easy, and then people are going to complain how easy it is, and then you have to make it more difficult and implement new mechanics or something like that. It's probably easier to just remove a mechanic than to come up with something new, or I don't know, but that's how I can explain it to myself. So what happens when you die during the mapping? First of all, when you open up a map, you see 6 portals spawning, just like in Path of Exile 1. And you think, I can enter and exit the map 6 times. It's true to a degree, but only if you don't die. If you die during the map, all portals are gone, the map is not finished, it's failed, and any event that you had in the map, for example, a boss, is also gone. You cannot enter that map anymore. It's gone. And I think that's way too much. If you don't want to give us 6 portals, give us 3. You know what? Give us 2. I'm even okay with that. But I want to have a second chance. I want to have a second chance. Don't give me 3 portals. Okay. But give me a second chance. Give us 2 portals. At least we need 2 portals. Because that's stupid. So many things could happen during mapping, man. Anything could happen. It could be your own fault. It could be you get distracted by whatever. Especially if you're a streamer, you could get distracted by something. You could just die and lose the map. Give us another portal. And it's not just like you actually just lose the portal and you lose the map. There's even more. Like I said, you lose the events, and at some point, I think after level 72 or 75 or something, please correct me if I'm wrong, there is even a XP penalty upon death. So if you are struggling with your defenses, you will die a lot. And you might never really level up, or it could take I don't know how many days to level up. So there is so many things, so many penalties in the endgame system, and they all kind of are entwined and they kind of work together. First of all, like I mentioned, the dodge system, it causes deaths, and the deaths causes that you lose your XP and you lose your map and you lose your progress and you lose a potential boss fight and potential loot. And that's just too much. I can show you a short clip here what happened, and let's just watch this together here. This clip is from Reddit, and this guy just posted, I think he was running tier 15 or something. He kills the boss upon killing the boss, he dies to some bullshit effect, and since now he is dead, you will now see all the loot drop, and he cannot enter this map anymore and pick up his loot. It's gone. And I personally think that's just too much, man. Like, they have to do something about it. I think giving us a second portal at least would fix this problem. Just a second portal would already fix this problem. So that's it, guys. That kind of wraps up my biggest concerns with the game that I have, and I really hope that GGG will at least address them in some way. I'm not asking for nerfs or something like that. I like actually that the game is difficult and challenging, but these things, in my personal opinion, have nothing to do with challenge or difficulty. This is just so 90s. Remove them. Remove those things. Make them better and more accessible, more fun for the player. Please have fun in your mind when you're designing something. That is not fun at all. And nobody can tell me anything else. It's not fun. So, guys, there you have it. It's my take. I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree. That's also okay. Write it in the comments what you think, what bothers you the most, what you hope for that GGG is gonna fix. And yeah, thanks for watching. And don't forget, I also stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/Menthur every day. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Man, there's no cut in this. I can't believe that I managed that. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in my next video, or hopefully live on Twitch. Until then, have a good one. Bye bye.